The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
The 2022-23 Carson-Newman women's basketball schedule is here with Coach Mike Mincey. I'm Michael Watchering for the Eagles Sports Network. Coach, let's start right out of the gates. The University of Tennessee, been 2 years since you had an opportunity to play them. According to bracketology, they're potentially a number one seed entering this season. Obviously, great talent, great depth that they have there. How exciting is it to be back on Rocky Top?
You know, we did it for 12 years in a row, whatever it was, and we're glad to be back on the exhibition schedule there. I mean, guarantee money or not, I think it's a great experience for especially all of our homegrown talent that has grown up watching Lady Vols play, and, of course, now they're going to get to be in that building competing against them. And I think we only have two players. I believe it's Harley and Braylon are the only two, I believe, that have played in that particular game. So excited for them to be back down there. Certainly excited for the rest of our team to be able to get down there and experience that. And, the preparation that goes into playing a team of that size and that caliber has always helped us as we move back into Division II play, and I'm sure this year will be no different.
Obviously, not just that, but this year, that first month of the year, you're playing a NCAA Tournament team from the year before every weekend, it feels like. How much of a barometer will your team get in that first month?
I mean, we should get a good one. It made it real difficult this year with divisional play, and having to find 10 non-conference games was a real chore. I think I had to work as hard this year on scheduling as I've ever had to, with emailing people and trying to get games. And, the Aiken-Lander tournament, that's been contracted in for 4 years. We've been doing that for quite a while now, and obviously we know about Lander and how good they've been. Of course, new coaching staff, so we'll see what happens there. And then going to North Georgia, we like going to that tournament. Clayton State was right on the bubble last year. Could have argued to be in the tournament. Of course, North Georgia went to the Elite Eight. That's going to be tough. And I'm sure you're going to mention it, but we go to Detroit to play Wayne State and Saginaw Valley, two teams we've never faced off against. Don't know a whole lot about other than it's going to be a real challenge, and because I'm sure they play a little bit different style of basketball with the physicality and how tough they'll be.
I think 2014 was the last time that you played a team that isn't in this, let's say, regional bubble. That's when you went to Owensboro, Kentucky for Trevecca and Kentucky Wesleyan. I know that it'll be a challenge, but how nice will it be to see some fresh faces out there rather than the typical teams that you play every year?
I mean, I think it'll be good. I think the girls are excited about it. I know I am. A lot of teams want to go to Florida like in November, and I'm like, let's go where it's colder. Let's go up to Detroit. I've never been to Detroit personally, and I don't think half of our team has either. So I think it'll be a different experience. I've always known, you need to schedule the right people in region, especially the top teams in the region, to be able to potentially get an at-large bid if you don't win your tournament. But with 10 games out of conference, I mean, it was just not possible this year to get those in-region games. Being able to go up there and playing two teams that we've never faced. Like I said, we don't know much about them, and they're not going to know much about us either because there's not those common opponents. I just think it's going to be a good trip for us right before Thanksgiving, and that will be another barometer that we can use as we eventually get into conference play.
You get North Georgia on the road, you mentioned that, but then you get them to come up here. You mentioned the fact that you've had to fill out this schedule with so many non-conference games. Home and home in the same season against a rematch of the NCAA Tournament and a Final Four team in North Georgia. What does that do for your group to see them twice really within the span of a couple weeks?
Well, North Georgia's how they've been playing these last 4 years in particular. I think they've gone to every regional championship game these last 4 years. And, of course, we had a really good one in Holt here in 18, and that's the last time they've actually been back to Holt was that 18 regional championship game. So Coach Burson and I we understand that we need to be playing each other, and it's good for our region. Certainly helps both of us with the strength of schedule perspective, and getting to play them in that short a time span will be quite interesting. But they're going to be tough this year, like they always are. And some new people, lost some really talented players, but I'm sure they're going to be really good and one of the top teams in the Peach Belt.
You've referenced it. Different change to the conference schedule this year. We're going divisions, so that means you don't play everybody twice like you have last year. What kind of impact does that make on your preparation for the year?
Well, I don't know that I don't have anything to do with it. Whatever we have to do, it seems like we're always constantly changing in sport and in conference and things of that nature. I think it's, for us, we have really good games with Wingate, per se, Anderson, Catawba, even though we do have Catawba a second time this year, which will be a non-conference game. But, losing those games, which were really good games, they helped your strength of schedule. That's the one thing I don't like. inevitably there's going to be some divisions every year, like one division is going to be better than the other. So you're not going to get that true regular season champion. But, when it all shakes out, hopefully when we get to the tournament, you'll get a champion that way. But I personally don't like the fact that we don't get Wingate twice and Anderson twice and Catawba twice in conference play. And there's others, but those three in particular, we've had some really good matchups with them over the years. And so, like anything, the only thing is constant is change, and so it's just something else for us to get used to.
You have 4 two-game homestands this year. That's it. You don't have any longer homestands. How much of a challenge will that be, / how important will it be for your team to hold serve at home this year?
Well, again, it goes back to that non-conference, having 10 non-conference games. Getting non-conference home games was really difficult. Not having anything longer than 2 games. We're going to have to be road warriors, and I think over the last maybe 5 years, I guess, we've fared fairly well on the road. Our kids have done a good job going on the road and taking care of business. So if we're going to have any chance of going back to another NCAA tournament, we're certainly going to have to be road warriors this year. And whether you're playing here, you're playing on the road, you got to get it done. And hopefully we can just have a good mentality where we can take care of business on the road.
What do you want to see from your team in these final weeks of preparation before the year starts?
Well, we've been pretty happy with where we're at. We're pretty far along with our preparation. We have 4 newcomers this year, and of course, Tori's coming back, and got Ruthie back. That was a red shirt. Carol was a red shirt, and just trying to get them gelled together. We have a lot of returning players, but every year is new, and when you lose certain players and you bring new players on, it becomes a new team. And we've got a couple of scrimmage games lined up before we actually go down to Tennessee on the 30th, and so really looking forward to playing against outside competition to kind of see where we are and how they play when they're in that situation where they got to play somebody else. They don't know what their plays are, and they got to fix things in different scenarios on the defensive end. So I like where we are. I think everybody says the same stuff this time of year. Chemistry's good, everybody's happy, blah, blah, blah. But all that stuff will change, come November, December, getting into January, whether you're winning or losing, and how close your team actually is. And I hope that we've had some good stuff with that over the years. I hope we continue to do it again this year.
Coach, thanks so much for the time. Best of luck this year.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Carson-Newman coach Mike Mincey. I'm Michael Watching for the Eagle Sports Network.